Hey, what's up guys and welcome back. It's a boy Anime King 2 and I'm back with a brand new episode. Part 3 of What If Naruto Was a Bastard with the Red Byakugan. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, yes, I indeed have 3 more channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. I'll be leaving a link in the description for Anime King 3, and Anime Symbol. So go ahead, check them out, and yeah guys, enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see when I post, because I do post a hell of a lot. So without further ado or wasting any more time, how about we begin this new episode? Let's begin now guys. So, to do a bit of a recap for the last part that we left off, we had an insight on Mito's life. The reason why she was the way she was. Growing up, she decided to go down the isolation road, not truly venturing out to be a part of a society that doesn't seem to want her. She would get strong on her own, she would get respected on her own. She was a pretty smart girl who learned by viewing things, seeing ninjas fight, seeing them act, the way they go about conducting themselves, which allow her to hide most of what she can do. Yes, she hid her abilities. She had saw Naruto on the second day when he arrived, and he was like any other Hyugas. Most Hyugas you could not tell much from their eyes but his. She saw something that reminded her of herself. So when she indeed met him that day, she was already aware of who he was. That is why she did not put up so much of a fuss when she get to truly know him. We skip back to the original time as Hinata thought Naruto hated her, but she was wrong. Instead, he placed a hand on her head and he told her that he did not blame her for anything that took place. After all, she was his sister. And he told her something else before he left. He believed in her. Everyone else expects her to be this super-powered individual blessed with almighty genes or something, but his small little words of encouragement change everything. So much so that Hayashi started to see the change in his young daughter as he observed her. Her putting more work in as he wondered what caused this change. Soon after, Mito, who was venturing into chakra control exercises due to Naruto, discovered the seal on her stomach, as she was afraid, wondering what was going on. It caused her to venture out at night, trying to truly understand it away from everyone else, when she came across a scheme that was being planned by none other than Mizuki, finding the scroll of sealing as she unraveled it, which caused her to learn 2 things from the inside. However, that was not all. When Mizuki finally arrived and Iruka came out there, they fought a long-winded battle, but in the end, when she decided, after hearing Iruka's words, she stepped out and used her clones to beat the living crap out of Mizuki. As some time passed after that, we find Naruto training with Neji. Naruto was able to do something that stopped the formation of chakra in Neji's palm, confusing the man for a moment there, as he didn't quite understand. Naruto wanted to know though why she was avoiding him. Yes, because she was not spending as much time as they used to train. However, she was skeptical on whether she could tell him or not, because she didn't want to lose him as a friend. But she knew that the secret would come out between them sooner or later, so she told him. And upon telling him, Naruto gave her a reaction that was, well, expected but unexpected at the same time. He actually blamed the fort for sealing the nine tails inside of her. If anything, she was a hero, and she should be more respected and praised by the people because she was holding the nine tail at bay. So Naruto did not think anything of that. So with that, everything seemed to return back to normal, as he was placed on Team 7 with Mito and Sasuke as well. Kakashi Hatake was quite intrigued by them working together, but before that though, Naruto tested himself against the man, wanting to see how he stacks up to a Jonin. Naruto even tried to perform something, but he failed to do so, which angered him greatly. As he worked along with Team 7, being more than smart enough to know that this was just a test, it was very hard to lie to Naruto after all, extremely so when he had his eyes activated. So with that, Team 7 worked together as Kakashi passed them, giving them a lesson and teaching them. But Naruto was truly disappointed in himself, being unable to truly take down Kakashi. He never expected to bring the man down, but at least make Kakashi work a bit harder, and he could see that he was not even overexerting himself one bit. So Naruto was upset with his performance, but Kakashi did give them props. He gave most of his props to Naruto though, being so young despite being a Hyuga, as he was perfectly able to burst a violent pressure of chakra-rise bursts, the empty palm. For someone his age, that was rather incredible. So yes, Team 7 officially became a team. That night we find Naruto training hard by himself as the place was raining, and Naruto was able to successfully do what he set out to do. The tree in front of him, the inside was completely burnt out, but the outside was fine. He passed out when he saw something. He saw someone with the same eyes that he possessed. No, that was a shocker. That was something that he didn't expect at all. So yeah guys, basically let's play it off. You guys can switch across to the place, check it out for yourself, and also all the links will be down in the description for the other channels, so go ahead, check them out and enjoy. So without further ado or wasting more time, let's begin this now guys. It's been a couple of weeks now since Team 7 officially became a team. At the moment we find young Naruto seated in front of a tree. His eyes were closed, as he seemed to be meditating. However, that was what it seemed to the normal eye. But on closer inspection with specialized eyes like the Byakugan, you would see that he was trying to mold his chakra in a certain pattern. A distance away, with his own Byakugan activated, was Satoru. While only being Naruto's teacher for a short amount of time, Satoru had taken great interest within the boy. He had his reasons. After all, to this day, he's not informed the higher-ups or Hayashi about just how talented Naruto was. Satoru did not seem to care much for the Branch family. Despite being a part of the main house, the Hyugas have gone down through line after line. The line that Satoru hailed from was just as regal and big as the main where Hayashi hailed from as well. Part of the main reason why he believed he should be the leader of said clan. However, Hayashi and his father before that had went down through generations, taking on said title. If something were to happen to that line though, if they were unable to truly step up to the title of leadership of the clan, maybe there would be great changes. As Satoru was observing Naruto, he has been doing so ever since he stopped training the boy. And every time Naruto got stronger, it seemed to make him happy, because it was a part of a plan that he was cooking up. Something big. As he proceeded to leave, his arms folded behind his back. Meanwhile, when Naruto finally opened his eyes, to the outside world nothing happened. Everything was still the way it was. However, Naruto pulled a kunai out he started to chip away at the tree bark. Upon reaching deep, Naruto saw a tiny burn mark on the inside of the tree bark, which seemed to make him ecstatic as he got to his feet. However, he was an individual that was quite able to control his emotions. Time skip. We skip to young Sasuke Uchiha as he was meeting up with his team. They have been doing training exercises a lot now, while their mission has been nothing but chores in his opinion. Sasuke would rather be on this team than any other. He wasn't really close with either of them. Not that he was really close with any of the kids in the class, but Mito was a person that didn't fawn over him like the other girls. And that made him respect her because she wasn't annoying. And as for Naruto, despite their clan lineage supposed to be at war, Naruto never looked at him that way, as he never spoke to him like they were caught up within their own clan problems. Not that Sasuke would ever care about that, given that his clan was now reduced to him and the traitor. So yes, he would rather be on this team than be on any of the others. The main reason why he had proceeded to follow what Naruto had said, when it made a lot of sense about what exactly was going to take place for the bell test. However, the more time passed, the more surprised and shocked Sasuke was. At first he believed that just because she wasn't fawning over him, that didn't mean that she was strong either. However, a battle between him and Mito had shocked him. It was in that moment she stopped holding back that much. Her skills and speed was something that caught him off guard, and she bested him. He was caught off guard. That is how he saw it, never expecting her to be that fast or that strong. Sasuke always believed that he was number one in the class. Mito might have caught him off guard, but Naruto was different. It was difficult to fight Naruto, extremely so. Sasuke wasn't as agile or as fast as he would like to be, especially at this age. And Naruto was able to shut down his points and paralyze him if he hit him in a certain pattern. So yes, hand to hand with Naruto was extremely difficult. But the child had never truly tried to show that within the academy, despite being a lot better than Hinata. So yes, that was strange. Speaking of Hinata, Kiba Inuzaka was rather surprised by the change in the girl. Having known her for many years now, always a quiet one. However, she seemed different. Even Shino took notice of that, but he wasn't a talkative type. Kurenai was curious, having taken on a lot when it came to the young girl. So yes, she was rather shocked by her sudden determination and growth. She seemed like a whole different individual. She even stopped stuttering that much. Yes, it was still there. That couldn't be completely gone in just days, but she was giving off a different feeling completely. Back to Team 7, as Naruto stood with said team. Given the personalities of these members, Naruto being someone that did not like to show off that much, Sasuke did not like to speak either, and Mito being a very observant individual. Team 7 got along, and yet they barely spoke when they were doing their missions. However, Kakashi believed that it was time that they were to venture outside to gain more experience. Not that he ever had the experience to be a sensei to a group, but usually a team is supposed to speak for a higher rank mission, and their Jonin sensei had to judge if they were ready. But in this case, neither of the members said anything regarding about the missions that they were taking part in. So Kakashi was the one to bring it to the Hokage, who was rather shocked to hear it. However, he stamped the agreement. Thus, we follow Team 7 as they made their way towards the Land of Wave. Their client, a rather ill-mannered individual, who insulted all of them the first time he met them, only to be greeted by 3 set of cold gaze that shut him up. Naruto was thinking about a lot, mostly about the hallucination that he saw. His mind was perhaps playing tricks on him because he was too tired. He remembered blacking out and seeing someone. He couldn't tell their gender, but he saw their eyes, which looked older than his. The red Byakugan gazing back towards him. But no one else in the history of the clan had these eyes, so yes, it was rather confusing. As Kakashi read his book, the heat was rather hot. It was a sunny day. Tazuna was looking around nervously. Naruto could tell that something was wrong. However, having no reason to activate his Byakugan, he never did so. After all, it did take chakra while not that much, but it would be a waste. Naruto then noticed something rather strange up ahead. Naruto activated his Byakugan as he leaned his head down. That is when he noticed there was two individuals hiding. It was a genjutsu. His eyes were much stronger and was easily able to pierce through the illusion up ahead. Seeing Kakashi behind him, Naruto wondered why he's not reacted. He heard a bit about the man, not much, but he knew that he was a veteran, someone that assists in the third great shinobi war. So there was no reason for him not being able to sense what was going on. Not to mention the place was too hot. Naruto was not the only one. Mito noticed that as well, due to the sweat that fell from her forehead and dropped in her palm. And yet there was a puddle of water there on this very hot day. She was a person that took in the situation around her, trying to adapt to her environment. The place was too hot for that to be there. As Sasuke did not seem to notice that just yet, as they kept on moving. Mito not reacting because Kakashi seemed so calm. He perhaps knew that it was there, and they wanted to see for themselves what would emerge. Naruto did not say anything either as his sensei was going out of his way to avoid eye contact. Something was up. But he kept himself prepared though, knowing that even if the enemies were to strike, Team 7 would not be taken down by their first original strike. They would have ample time to take down these foes. Not to mention it was best that they did not act like they knew they were there. As they passed by, now Naruto knew more than ever that Kakashi was up to something. Immediately, both brothers burst out of the illusion, their chain throwing around the copy ninja, but it was stopped. Naruto threw two kunais as it went through the links of the chain, pinning them to the trees, to left and right, stopping them from squeezing Kakashi in the center. Both him and Sasuke made eye contact. Despite not saying words, Naruto held out his hand. He swung the Uchiha before launching him into the sky. Sasuke blazed through hand sign before releasing a fireball. Both demon brothers cursed under their breath, quickly trying to unhinge a chain from their goblet. They quickly made it apart in seconds, jumping to both left and right. However, Miyaizu was greeted by a brutal kick to the face, courtesy of Sasuke. Mito had used her chain, one powerful chain that stabbed into the tree, allowing Sasuke to grab on, delivering a brutal strike. As for Gozu, a massive empty palm burst of chakra slammed into his gut, slamming him into a tree. When he tried to pick himself up, Naruto placed a kunai at the tip of his throat. A single movement and he would be dead. Kakashi, who had not moved from his spot, was beyond amazed to what he had seen. Team 7 spent the last 2 weeks doing nothing but teamwork and drills, and it seems like it has paid off wonderfully. He mostly brought them on this mission for the experience and to see how they would work well together. And here he thought that, due to their lack of communication, that there would be some problems, but he was wrong in that area, as both brothers were subdued, knocked out and tied up, and Naruto saw it. He turned his gaze towards Tazuna. "You're lying," Naruto said. He could see it on the man, despite Tazuna not saying anything yet. Well, what are you talking about?" Tazuna said. acting rather confused. This mission, you're lying about something. When those two attack, it's almost like you knew they were coming. But not just like you knew that your life would be threatened by bandits. Like you expected this. Expected your life to be threatened by ninjas. There's something that you're not telling us. Naruto was able to get all of that from his advanced red Byakugan that was able to see beyond deception even more, passing the standard for a normal Byakugan by far. I don't know what you're talking about. You see these, Naruto said, looking towards Tazuna, as the man was able to witness a change in his eyes. I can see beyond your lies. How much longer are you going to play a buffoon? Answer the question. What exactly are you lying about? Despite not raising his tone once, Tazuna was actively shaking, as Naruto rather intimidated eyes despite his young age. And when he gazed up towards Kakashi, he got even more afraid. He swallowed thickly. He had to come clean. Time skip. Naruto did not blame the man. Not one bit. He did not blame him for lying. If his family life was on the line and he lacked the effort to actually save them, he would have done the same. Not to say that what he didn't do was stupid because they were perhaps not the best team suited for something like this. However, each member wanted to continue on, as their pride would not let them abandon the first mission that they got outside of the village. However, it was up to the copy ninja though, who decided that he would bring them along. Any threat that would rise Kakashi was certain enough that he would be able to handle it. Thus, Team 7 continued the mission, with word sending back to Konoha about the Demon Brothers' pickup and what was taking place. So with that, they made their way towards the Land of Wave, arriving towards a rather misty area after getting off the boat. The mist was heavy, extremely so. Naruto activated his eyes and felt a sense of overwhelming sensation towards his eyes. The entire place was saturated in chakra. This mist, chakra spread through it. It wasn't normal. He took a deep breath as he calmed himself, focusing, the veins at the side of his face bulging even more. As the chakra started to line up, Naruto then felt it. His eyes was able to see the difference in the normal mist and the chakra around. Naruto's eyes were able to track the literal stagnant from the chakra residue, despite the connection being so small, straight back to its source. He spoke in a rather hushed tone as he noticed the individual, and unlike the Demon Brothers, this person was much stronger. His voice was not heard to anyone else but the copy ninjas he walked side by side. Kakashi still nose deep in his book. However, after hearing the description of one of the individuals, he told Team 7 to be cautious. Just like that, their formation started to slowly change. To the normal eye view, nothing happened, but their formation took a standard point to protect Tazuna, with Kakashi at the front. When they heard ruckus in the bushes, none of them reacted, already quite aware because of Naruto being there. Having the Byakugan was really useful. The rabbit jumped out of the bush, giving Kakashi more incentive on what exactly was going on. They all went down, pulling the client down as well, the blade whipping over and slamming into the tree. Zabuza reacted as he appeared on said blade, rather confused about the reaction time. It was like they knew that he was there. Now he understood why the Demon Brothers weren't back, the copy ninja Kakashi Hatake. But as he spoke, he wondered in his mind, did the Demon Brothers already spill what was going on and that he was here? Nevertheless, Sasuke was able to see the Sharingan for the first time that Kakashi had at his disposal as a battle broke out. Unfortunately though, Kakashi got caught up, found himself trapped on top of the water inside of a water prison. Team 7 proved themselves more than once now. However, Kakashi did not believe that they would be able to defeat Zabuza. The water clones could not run away. They could not go that far away from their creator. He told them to run, to get out of here, take the client and move. However, Mito was the one to speak her mind. Sensei, you were the one that told us that those who abandon their comrades are less than trash. And yet you're in this situation, and if we abandon you, this man is going to kill you. Kakashi tried to persuade them that what he said need to be forgotten in this moment. They were all going to die. He would stay behind and he will take Zabuza. However, Zabuza already created 2 water clones. Mito stepped back as she gazed towards the other 2. They spoke, but their words were quick and soft as well. One of the clones went to the right as the other one went to the left. As one of them chuckled, it doesn't matter what you brats plan, because you're just that, brats, and you're not going to win. A smoke bomb was deployed from Team 7, covering the area. A little game, huh? The clone dashed forward, but Naruto ran out, followed by Sasuke, who was going through hand sign, as Mito jumped up above. The clone sliced right through Sasuke, only for him to poof away. All 3 of them were Mito clones that pulled off the transformation jutsu. Kakashi was surprised by that. Had he been underestimating her talents? The Naruto clone had something in his hand. Boom! An explosion took out the first clone. The second one though got behind Kazuna. As he saw the 3 kids in front of him, it's over, he said. He swung his blade to decapitate the man. However, expecting a civilian, he never expected Kazuna to weave around, immediately getting out of his grasp, delivering a brutal strike to the stomach area that completely defused the clone before he returned back to his standard form, which was Naruto. The real Kazuna returned back to normal as Naruto had performed the transformation jutsu on him and turning into the man and made the man turn into him. I'll give you this, Kakashi. Your brats aren't that bad, Zabuza said. However, they're still not going to win. Years of instincts kicked in. As he looked down, he pulled his head back immediately. A massive Fuma shuriken whipping past his face, cursing as he realized one of them must have transformed once again. Down below was Sasuke Uchiha. He cursed as he quickly drive his blade down into the water. Sasuke's eyes went wide as the blade stabbed through him. Kakashi's eyes widened, only for Zabuza was forced to jump away as the real Sasuke had launched a kunai towards the man in mid-air. A chain courtesy of Mito grabbed him and pulled him back to the shore. The original had been transformed, while a clone of Mito transforming into Sasuke had went into the water. It was a good thing that she could swim, because Zabuza let down his guard, believing that this boy was confident enough to reach him. All of this was being masterminded by none other than Naruto. Zabuza deflected the kunai that came out of nowhere, only for another to slam into his shoulder. Blood dripped into the water as he gripped the wound, whipping out said kunai. Looking up, he saw Naruto's eyes. The boy had placed the kunai directly in the shadow, to the point that not even him were able to react in the split second of jumping away. When he saw the eyes, he was confused. They looked like the Byakugan due to the veins at the side, but why were they red? It reminded him of a clan within Kiri, a clan that possessed red glowing eyes, literally the name of their Kikigenkai. It had aspects that were similar to the Byakugan. However, the clan had mostly died out. But this was not it. This had the standard look of the Byakugan with the veins pulsating at the side. He never thought that brat was a Hyuga. Now he knew why. They were so prepared. This plan was well thought out, and it needed an expert that could see everything around him to be able to do it. He had to give it to them. Perhaps they were not as worthless as he thought. His gaze then locked with the copy ninja as he forcefully turned his gaze away, knowing that cryptic eye and what it was capable of. He straightened himself up. The pain in his shoulder was not that much to put him down. He threw his blade from left to right. However, Kakashi was not going to risk his team once again. As a brutal battle took place, Naruto's gaze was focused on the individual that was observing them, watching, fully aware where they were and what they looked like. However, this person was smart. When they start to move through the trees, heading this way, "They're coming," said Naruto. Team 7 quickly prepared themselves. The person jumped down as Zabuza was taken back by Kakashi's brutal assault. He slammed into a tree viciously. Both Sasuke and Mito launched kunais. The individual deflected them, running towards the team, where they performed in a full-on assault. Naruto dropped into his stance, ready to face them hand-to-hand. At the last moment though, they pulled back, flipping in the air and launching senmons towards Kakashi, forcing the copy ninja to deflect them as they release a large barrage of senmons, moving their way back towards Zabuza, hooking the arm around his shoulder, quickly using the technique to flash out of there. The copy ninja would have liked to go after them, but the strain of overexerting his eyes, it took him out of the game as Naruto held his hand out and grabbed the back of his vest, already quite aware of what was going on, seeing the fluctuation within his chakra. That one eye of his was consuming a large amount. With that, Tazuna picked the man up to help him back to the home where they were staying for the meanwhile. Time skip. Lying down on a bed, Zabuza was not pleased by Haku jumping in, despite the fact that he was outmatched at the moment. Kakashi was able to see in the future. That is a remark that he made as the man was able to see and stopped his moves by replicating them before he could even. The man could truly see in the future. Given the damage that he sustained, it would take some time for him to get back to his feet. As he lay there in bed, "Haku," he said, stopping Haku from exiting. "Watch out for that one, the Hyuga." Haku had seen the eyes, fully realizing that they were already discovered, knowing that it would be hard for him to sneak up on them. That is why he used a fake of going directly after them. But the Hyuga was more than prepared, ready. It was foolish to fight a Hyuga hand to hand, due to their ability to close off one chakra point. A professional Hyuga was a very dangerous individual when it came to hand-to-hand combat, and that one seemed rather proficient for his age, so they had to be extremely careful on that matter. Time skip. Kakashi had to delegate in a lot of different areas, due to Naruto and Mito already being more advanced in the subjects that they were supposed to be taught by him. They've reached a level that they've come to learn on their own, so he had to focus more on Sasuke. However, Naruto did not need his help in the style that he was trying to perfect. Unfortunately though, after a few days, Naruto was dead tired, so they had to leave him behind, as he had really pushed himself that last night, trying to quickly open up the area that he wished to go down. But it was a difficult road to achieve. So we find Naruto sleeping one off. As it was almost midday, Team 7 already heading towards the bridge. Outside, a young boy known as Iniri was sitting by the pier. After blowing up on them, Kakashi had spoken to the boy, and it seemed to have helped in calming him down. However, when the boy watched his mother got knocked out in front of him, courtesy of the two thugs that came to kidnap her, he ran forward without hesitation, no longer caring if he would die or live. But Naruto wasn't about to let that happen. Alerted by the noise, a brutal strike to both of their chest area forced them to release tsunami as they were thrown back. They crashed on the ground hard in Eri, blinking with shock as Naruto was a few feet ahead of him. They struggled to rise, struggled to get to their feet. Naruto walked over and kicked the both of them across the head, knocking them out. Eri rushed to his mother's side, shocked that Naruto had got there in time. Stepping towards the woman, Naruto checked on her. She seemed completely fine, just unconscious. The words that came from Naruto's mouth, "Open a new avenue," gave the young child a new insight on life, something that he's been missing for some time now. It seems, you are a hero after all. With that, Naruto made his way towards the bridge. Moments later, we find Sasuke Uchiha engaging with Haku, the masked ninja. Every now and again, a chain went through the center or one of the gaps, trying to break the complete structure. However, the mirrors were fastly repairing themselves. With Naruto not being here, someone had to stay behind to protect Tazuna because if he died, the entire mission was over. So Mito was there. As she was protecting the man using her chain to try to help Sasuke as well. But through the difficult saga of trying to survive, Sasuke awakened the true blood right of his clan, the Sharingan. But at the level that he was currently at, he wasn't able to truly defeat Haku. Until Naruto arrived on the bridge. Mito was happy to see him, quickly informing him of what was taking place. Naruto's eyes immediately went all over, observing every single inch of this dome. That is when he saw it. He dashed forward and pulled his hand back. There was a faint red aura that surrounded his palm. He struck one of the mirrors with a great amount of force. It did not crack. Instead, inside of the mirror there was a burning flicker that spread, shattering the base and spreading outwards. The chakras seemed to follow the others, shattering at least 5 of them before Haku spun his head around. He was rather shocked how easily his mirrors dissolve. Immediately, dashing towards the one closest, 3 senbons were sent towards Naruto, but Naruto blasted them away. Haku launched several more, but Naruto spun both his hands. A faint chakra outline appeared, like a shield deflecting all of them. It wasn't really, but his hands were moving so fast. Haku appeared in all of the others as Naruto deflected each and every one of them, allowing Mito enough time to grab Sasuke and pull him out of there, who was dead tired. He was like a porcupine with needles all over him. So easily sacrificing yourself for your comrade. You have my respect for that. However, it shall be your downfall, Haku said. Before I end your life, tell me, how were you able to break 5 of my mirrors? Naruto was simply gazing around, his gaze not focusing on Haku one bit. Not much of a talker, are you? Haku said. I'm not here to waste time. You're trying to kill us. Go ahead, said Naruto. Fine, Haku said. The mirrors were repaired as he appeared in each and every one of them. It's over. However, Naruto locked in, moving with speed and precision. He deflected and dodged every single needle coming his way. His white hair moving in the wind as he twirled and spin. He dodged, he leaped. Every one of them. He slammed his hand together before shooting them out, releasing a blast of empty palm. Don't you see? Its point. Haku was taking deep breaths. What is this? How is this possible? He was already running out of chakra. Has he already used so much? He had to kick it up before he was out as he released an onslaught upon Naruto. Naruto kept on moving and dodging until Haku. His technique was stagnant for a moment. All the reflection glitched in and out. He used too much chakra. In that moment, Naruto kicked off the ground with all of his might. His hand perfectly outwards. The center of his palm glowed with chakra. He slammed it into the one remaining Haku. Shock on his face but could not be seen due to the mass. The mirror cracked on the inside before Haku was blasted through the back. He flipped and landed on the bridge. Now close to close hand combat with Naruto. Haku tried to keep up. However, he was so tired, so exhausted, running low on chakra. Naruto weaved under his strikes, dodging the senbons in his hand. Naruto struck him in the shoulder, disabling his arm, moving under him before taking out one of his legs, releasing an empty palm into his back, launching him. Seeing the perfect opportunity, Mito ran forward and delivered a violent punch that shattered the mass, completely breaking it apart. Haku was sent launching away as he crashed in the center. He lay there, shocked at his defeat. He couldn't believe it. He struggled to get back to his feet due to the hits from Naruto. That is when he felt it. What did you do to me? He said, looking at Naruto with a shocked look on his face. Naruto gazed down toward his opponent. Haku was not out of chakra. However, it was Naruto. When Naruto first made contact with the mirrors, two things happened. The first one was Naruto pulsed his own chakra like he's been doing with the trees. His chakra did not only affect the network, it affected the pathway of anything that he struck, filling it with his own, causing his chakra to burn. Like the redness of his eyes, his chakra had a fiery temper about it that burned through the mirrors and shattered them. But that was only the first part. Naruto possessed a very, at the moment, unstable genjutsu. A genjutsu that was rather circulating around his eyes. He called it the Crimson Phantasm. He was the one that created after all. When Neji thought that he lost the chakra around his arms, that was fake. It was Naruto genjutsu at play. However, at the time he could only maintain it for about 2 seconds. The reason why it was so much better on Haku was Naruto Crimson Byakugan was able to see the intricate link of chakra far beyond the standard Byakugan, allowing him to see the link between. So, when Naruto disrupted the chakra flow, he also sent his own chakra within Haku chakra as it went through all the mirrors. That is why Naruto was looking around, waiting on the perfect time for it to truly take root. And once it did, the genjutsu was very powerful. Unlike a Sharingan genjutsu that target the opponent's mind, it directly manipulates the opponent's chakra perception, making them feel like their chakra was being drained, making their vision blur, making their attack miss the target, and several other sensory overloading definition. However, the reason why Naruto was able to pull it off so good was simple. Haku was linked to each and every one of the mirrors due to his ability to repair them. That is what gave Naruto the win. However, due to his rather flexibility and his overwhelming sense of details, he could have probably deflected every single one of Haku's senbon until Haku ran out of chakra. And there were other things that Naruto was working on, so it was 50-50. After all, Haku wasn't your standard ninja. Even Zabuza believed that. He wasn't sure if he could truly defeat Haku if he was trying to kill him, and that was Haku's problem. Haku doesn't like to kill. So as he stood there, knowing that he's lost, he had no more will to fight them because he saw himself as a broken tool. Now that affected Mito when she heard it. Her thinking before that she was a weapon to be used, only for Naruto to dismiss those thoughts. But now she wanted to know. Mito was able to unravel people like they were paper, as Haku even spoke about his past, and the reason why he would do whatever he needs to do to protect Zabuza-sama. Thus as he formed the mirror, Naruto dashed forward, but Haku jumped inside. Naruto's gaze snapped to where Kakashi and the others were, only to see Kakashi drive a Shidori through Haku, ripping through his chest. He was the one that jumped in the way. Time skip. Naruto stood at the grave site, where they had buried the two. In the end, Zabuza had given up and used his life to kill Gato. He died by Haku's side, and it was because of Mito. After hearing what Haku had to say, and the fact that Zabuza tried to cut through him to get to his opponent angered her. It angered her to no end. She wanted to know how could he be with him for so long and yet treat his life like it was nothing. Her words broke Zabuza and got him to cry. Got him to cry, the so-called demon. So yes, that is how it ended. As Naruto found himself standing at the gravesite, wondering how one could so willingly give up their life like it was nothing. He remembered himself charging in to try and kill his own father Hayashi, but Haku died without second thought for the one that he loved. He would have done that for his mother. But recently, even as everything was going well, he felt so hollow. A part of him felt worthless, because the man that was basically responsible for his mother's death was still breathing. Despite everything that Haku has gone through, he still respected and loved Zabuza no matter what. Could one really love someone so unconditionally and get past the hate and problems that they faced in the past? For one to give another a purpose, it made him feel like he would be stuck in the same situation, saying that he would break free but never truly break free, because in the end, Haku was never free. He gave his life, not knowing how deeply Zabuza actually cared. And he died without knowing that. Naruto had no idea why this was affecting him so much. It made him wonder, out of everyone else, all the thousands of others that lived and died through the ages, why would he be the only special one to break free, to be truly free and not confined? He grabbed the headband that he was wearing and pulled it off. He gazed at the reflective metal as he saw that cursed mark on his head. He squeezed tightly onto the headband. Would he be the first and only one to ever break free? What makes him so different? Because his eyes were different? He remembered numerous times Neji speaking about fate, saying that they were all fated to be branch members, and that he did not believe that Naruto would be able to overcome it, because he did not believe that any of them could. It was how fate set the world. And thus, as he saw, Haku died for what he believed in. Die. He was gone, no longer a being on this earth, just like his mother. Naruto's fist clenched tighter, and the fact that the one that was responsible for all of this was still there, the one that had the power to change the way of the clan. Screw what the elders might have to say, rehabilitate everything and everyone, but no, his own goddamn father. Rage coursed inside of him, to the point that Naruto's vision started to blur. As Naruto gazed outwards towards the sea, he saw someone standing there, confused at first, as the person had appeared out of nowhere. However, looking at them, something was different, something was wrong. They were dressed in all white, like some kind of angel. Their features were something that he could not see, but their face was not covered, which confused him. But their eyes, their red Byakugan looking back at him. Naruto saw something in that moment until Naruto blinked. As Mito was standing behind him, he tied the headband around his head. "Are you alright?" she asked. "Yeah, I'm fine," said Naruto, just thinking, as he turned to face her. However, she saw something strange for a second. She wondered if she was just seeing things. She could swear that his eyes flickered for a moment into something else. She was just probably seeing things, she thought to herself. At the end of the day, Team 7 came out on top, and the bridge was named after each and every one of them. Each of them played a part in this mission. Thus, the bridge was named the Great Team 7, a landmark that would give a great background history to what happened to make this bridge complete. And with that, they headed back home with their first successful C to A rank mission under their belt. While Naruto was wondering if he was going crazy, he directly saw someone on the water, just like when he blacked out and had that strange vision. But the person was gone by the time he turned back around, as he truly wondered if he was going mad. He had no idea what the hell was going on. Returning back to the village, they went back into their routine, as Naruto started to strengthen himself even more, constantly pushing himself. He was aware of Satoru watching him. The man just passed by every now and again, observing him for reasons that he did not know. Due to the small student-teacher moment, Naruto wondered if he was standing by and watching his growth. Why would they even assign him to teach him if they would tell him not to? Just a few months later, it made absolutely no sense. He wondered if they were trying to break him down by giving him help, then taking it away. But he could care less. No one could help him in what he was doing because, as far as he knew, what he was doing was the first of its kind. As he continued to train, he continued to practice and work by himself, making himself stronger, faster, smarter in every area. 4 months passed by as Team 7 went on several missions, including one towards the Land of Waterfall, where they protected the leader there named Shibuki. Sasuke was having a great understanding of his eyes as the time went by, trying to make himself as strong as possible. With the Sharingan now under his control, he was one step closer into gaining his revenge. Mito was trying to make herself stronger by trying to make her chains by using them in much more high quality and quantity as well. Due to the fact that she could only use one of them at full force, she wanted to make at least 5, much stronger than how she could make them right now. So with that, Team 7 found themselves working extremely hard. Some of the time, Kakashi did not even feel like he was their sensei, as they seemed to be branching off. Due to Sasuke having the Sharingan and him having one as well, he could train the Uchiha in that area. However, most of the time when he arrived late, he found Naruto clashing against Sasuke or Mito or the three of them practicing together. Team 7 was coming along great from what he could see. So when the time came, he signed them up for the upcoming Chunin exams, believing that they would all do great in said exams. While that was going on though, not just Team 7 that was going to be partaking, Team 8, Hinata, and the others, Team 10, and Team 9 as well, which was Team Guy, as they were all going to be participating this year. Arriving towards the academy, every single member of Team 7 was there. making their way inside. They had a run-in with the Sand team not so long ago, due to Mito's relationship with a boy known as Konohamaru, a child, the grandson of the third Hokage. They found themselves heading towards the area that they were designated to go. There was one area that Mito did not really excel in a lot. Her performance was really poor in Genjutsu, and she was trying to get better at it. Luckily though, her teammates were there. So as they made their way, they were easily able to pass the second round, but not before coming across Team Guy that was there. Neji saw Naruto and greeted him with a nod, Naruto doing the same. That was until Rock Lee saw Naruto. Team 7 made their way off. Naruto knew that Neji was fully capable of seeing through that illusion. So what he was doing was perhaps a trick, stopping Sasuke from intervening, as he wanted to show them that he was their better, knowing that it was an illusion. However, hey you! The group was stopped. Gazing upwards was none other than Rock Lee. He flipped and jumped down, pointing directly towards Naruto. "You are Naruto Hyuga," he said. As he went into his fighting stance, Lee wanted to fight Naruto. There wasn't much people that Neji seemed to respect or even talk about. However, he spoke about Naruto not a lot, but he spoke about him that meant he was something special. And Neji did confirm it when Lee had questioned him. Lee, being at odds with Neji in terms of seeing who was the better, wanted to see about this individual that even Neji praised. Tenten too was intrigued. She saw him when he was walking off. His features were completely different from Neji, as it was a surprise that he was even a Hyuga. So Lee blatantly challenged Naruto. However, Naruto declined. However, Lee being Lee, believing that Naruto would eventually fight back, dash forward. He jumped at Naruto with a spinning kick. Naruto was already well aware that he was coming his way. He weaved under Lee's kick and thrust his arm out to Lee's face. However, Lee, having enough experience by fighting Neji, bent his back, going under Naruto's blow, as he aimed a punch towards Naruto's stomach. However, his fist was stopped by something, what he was not quite sure. The next moment, Naruto's other hand slammed on his chest, an empty palm that sent Lee sailing. He bounced across the ground and slammed hard into the wall, breaking it. There was many cracks as he lay there. Lee was in pain and confused. He looked down towards his fist. What just happened? His fist was stopped by something, and he didn't know what it was. When he looked back up, Team 7 was already gone, making their way through the entrance, forcing Lee to live with this humiliation until he saw them again. However, Sasuke was rather intrigued. What was that, he questioned. Naruto gazed towards him, but Sasuke had known Naruto long enough to know that he wasn't going to get the answer. Not even Mito knew what the hell just happened. Time skip. Team 7 found themselves within the forest, making their way, as they just took out a team from the land of grass. Sasuke was digging through the leader's pocket when he found it. He held the scroll in his hand. Naruto had no problem with him carrying the scrolls. Due to Naruto's eyes, they were able to pinpoint the team that had their scroll rather easily, and thus, they found themselves heading towards the tower, until Naruto stopped on the branch. His eyes were stretched to the max, as Naruto could see the person moving at such an incredible speed racing towards them. "What is it?" Mito asks. "Someone's coming. Fast." The look on Naruto's face though warranted more questioning. "What's wrong with that?" Sasuke said, ready to fight. "This speed. It's far above Genin, even Chunin, even Jonin." "What?" Sasuke said. The person seemed to be fully aware that Naruto could see them. They wasted no time as Naruto saw their hand signs. "Move now!" They all jumped away as a snake ripped through the area. However, the person appeared in mid-air. Naruto tried to react, but their speed was much greater than his. The first fist that they threw was blocked by something that surprised them, but their other blows slammed into Naruto with enough force to send him down to the ground. Mito tried to use her chain, but the person slipped right through it with such flexibility, delivering a striking blow to her gut. Both her and Naruto were sent crashing down to the ground. Sasuke was forced down to one of the branches, and the person engaged taijutsu with him. Naruto picked himself up, his Byakugan surging. As the veins at the side of his head were pulsating, he forcefully got to his feet, feeling the pain rocking through him. The person's face was... something was wrong. There was a layer of chakra that was protecting their true identity. That was as strange. No, it wasn't an illusion, it wasn't a trick. It was like their skin was infused with another skin chakra. Now that was confusing as Naruto got to his feet. But he was certain about one thing. This person was Orochimaru of the Sannin. Despite not looking like it, he saw the person summon a snake. He knew about the Sannins, of course, being quite intelligent himself. And the only other person that could summon a snake was Orochimaru. He heard that Orochimaru had an apprentice, but this person was not that person. Mito landed beside him. "Who in the world is that?" she said. "It's Orochimaru of the Sannin," said Naruto. "He's after Sasuke." "Why?" Mito said. Knowing that name rather well, this man was an enemy of the entire village. "I don't know," said Naruto. "But he can't defeat him on his own." "But neither can we," Mito said. "I know," said Naruto. But they had no choice, as the two of them dashed toward the Sannin to help their comrade. Meanwhile that was going on, within Naruto's living quarters was none other than Satoru. Satoru was examining a kunai that belongs to Naruto. His Byakugan was activated. He was up to something. Judging by that look on his face, he was up to something. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part, and do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.